Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Elendor Chronicles, brought to you by the Component Cast. Before we get on with tonight's broadcast, one thing, I need to magic on my lights. There we go. It's a little bit more vibrant, shall we? There we go. Also, currently, tonight, we are down 2 players, hence the black boxes beneath me, but who knows? Maybe we'll see appearances. Who knows? But before we get on with tonight's broadcast, of course, we need to cover a few bases. The first base is to cover our own and give a quick shout out to our Patreon. Patreon is the best way for you to support the show. If you fancy it, of course, even $1 a month really helps out because it goes, and all Patreon funds currently go to the funding of this show and existing shows and future shows as well. You can get, and even with that $1, I believe there's a $1 tier. I am now judging myself for not knowing this completely, but even on the lowest tier, shall we say, you get so much bang for your buck because you get behind the scenes access, you get early stuff, you also get free downloadables. We've got a couple from Elendor Season 1 up and Season 2, as well as something that's been going on in the background, which I think we've actually teased on our Instagram account. Go follow that if you haven't already. But yeah, it's the best way to support the show, and all the funds go to, getting new art, producing trailers, all that sort of fun stuff. So yeah, if you're a really big fan and you really want to help out, that's the best way to do it. Also, just a reminder to people in chat that there, as of a couple of weeks ago, there is a couple of new emotes. Some of them are completely free to use, so if you are in our moderated chat, you can use those emotes whenever you like. Classic natural 1 and classic natural 20 right there, ready for you to play with. And you can play on. But the final thing we have to do before we start tonight's broadcast is talk about Syrinscape. Syrinscape is a free online player that allows me to send my audio to all of my players around the globe. Syrinscape, it has an iOS app or Android app. You can download it. It has 20 free sound sets to get you started, and you can find out more at syrinscape.com. Right, without further ado, let us get on with tonight's broadcast. So, would anyone like to particularly do the recap this week, considering what happened last week?
I suppose I can do the recap, considering I did a thing last week. Last week was the grand inquiry of the King of Ate into the potential betrayal of the Duke of Ate and the trial of Lord, I believe his name is Edward Sunderstar?
Yeah.
Edward Sunderstar. In the midst of the party gathering, in order to get the evidence to the king so that the trial could take place, a new individual arrived with information that would hopefully point to Lord Edward's guilty verdict. One Breton Montillier, a old knight retainer of Ruby, and someone who had been recently captured by the Lord Sunderstar in order to keep the secret of what had happened to his daughter from getting out. He had managed to escape and brought with him evidence that the Lord, I keep wanting to say the Duke, but he's not a Duke, he's a Lord. What was his official rank? Was it Count? Baron?
Yes, he was a Count.
It was Count. The Count had smuggled assassins into the Nardathel, into Ate specifically, in order to assassinate the king, and that he had paid the Duragar responsible for mining the tunnels underneath his estate in order to do so. With this evidence, the trial began, a trial that involved some suspicious going on, such as the Count muttering to one of the casters responsible for keeping up the anti-magic field, something that Gourd had spotted out and called out as suspicious and tried to interrupt and help maintain a normalcy of the situation. Once the Count had been called up, the accusations against him were laid, not so much as directly, as this whole thing was a bit of a farce to deliver to the lords how the situation with the war effort was going, and only once he was drawn up on to the stand were the accusations against him laid to try and put him in a position of disadvantage. As this went upon, the situation was revealed that the Duke and the Count had a secret plot to try and assassinate the king here one more time. But due to Gourd's careful nature and paying attention to what was going on, he called it out before it started, catching them off guard. I think that may be the first time that we did that towards Lord Sunderstar. A battle ensued, a brutal battle that resulted in many nobles being attacked, slain, not least of all Ruby, who was caught by a disintegrate spell by her own father. At the end of the day, though, the Duke was defeated, Lord Sunderstar was defeated, and the King was managed to escape the encounter with nary a scratch on him. The party grieved for the recently bereaved, and as we met with the King once more, he asked what he could potentially do for us, and the decision was unanimous. We wanted Ruby returned from the dead, and anything he could do towards that end would be appreciated. He admitted that while he did not have direct control over an individual who could do it, he did know of someone, and he could put in a word of recommendation, favor, something to get us a meeting with the individual so we could try and convince them ourselves, and also provide the means of cost that would be necessary in such a complicated and difficult ritual. From there, we stepped away, and the path was set. I believe we were gathering back on the airship to ready ourselves. We needed to wait for him to gather up the items to give to us, as that was something he could do so quickly. But from there, we were just biding time, waiting for him to present us what we needed to leave.
Yes, so we left off with the first night without Ruby passing. And you know what? Breton, or Zedaar, whichever you would prefer to be right now. Give me a d20 roll, please.
Sure. A 6.
Okay. And the sun slowly rises. A new day. A harsh day. Adventurers, I ask you, what would you like to do?
I think are we waiting for the king to give us some scratch?
Are you just waiting to see what comes of today? Is anyone doing anything in particular with their morning?
So this location that the meeting was taking place, this isn't a small city, correct? This
No,
is not just
it's a large fortified monastery complex with there's like grounds which are a lot of lawns and stuff outside of the wall, and then it goes into farm fields and vineyards, mainly vineyards.
Okay. Then that's not something that can help Zedaar. I think knowing what is coming on the horizon, Zedaar is just spending some more time idly working on potions.
Okay.
Taking from his own coin purse to procure the ingredients needed. I imagine he's actually just paying the sailor who's responsible for doing such things and making potions on the ship for whatever he needs to do this, assuming he has access to those supplies.
Sure. Yeah, you can do so.
A few days ago, Valmir had asked Zep for some, like, wooden training dummies. Would they have been made yet?
You did. The only thing you asked for a Zep was the secret compartment.
Did I not ask for some training dummies so I could hit them? I vaguely remember asking for something like that.
I don't remember this at all. And I usually am pretty fastidious about noting this stuff down. So, it certainly can happen.
Zep and Valmir, you were eating ice cream most of the night. Zep, give me a quick artifice roll, because you said you were working like hardcore and just inspired by this. And just a reminder, if you didn't already, I think you all did, but if you're staying up, take your voluntary point of exhaustion. Make a note of that.
What does that do? It's disadvantage for rolls for now, right?
Ability
Disadvantage on ability checks.
So this would be at disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Zep technically hasn't leveled up yet because he didn't sleep. So this is a -2.
Yep.
When it appears. I'm fairly sure that's a 27 because it was a 14.
Like, the thing is, I expect it to be good. So this is one of those things, it's like, both of you with tubs of ice cream in arm, just go down to the area where, you go up to the top deck because that's where most of the training happens now because the number of people is 22 because you rolled a 9.
So 20.
So a 20. Still on a dirty 20, you go up to the top deck where most people train and basically mark down 5 gold pieces worth of wood. And essentially, is what you've got it now is that 2 racks of like 4 combat dummies have been built that slide in and out of under the stairs on the top deck that go up to where the old wheel arch used to be. So essentially, you've got pull out like training lines.
I'm just gonna summon my glaive and beat the shit out of one of them.
Okay. Paid an extra 1 silver's worth for repairs because out of his pure rage, Valmir just takes the head clean off of one and you need a new sack to fill with straw.
Paying for this. I will.
But I will say that you two see the morning sun first. Well, except for Gourd, who was out of the ship this morning. But you all return slowly through the morning.
Those guys that are outside, I believe it's Valmir and Zep, you'll see Gourd come back up, pretty much covered in soot and ash and dirt, smelling heavily of fire and smoke.
He's not really got the high enough passive perception. He's just really focused on getting out the anger.
And any moment that Zep is not working on the training dummies, he has pulled out the shards of arcane glass and is studying them intently, so he would also not notice.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. I just letting everybody know where I'm going. And then I'd probably just I'd probably go see what Zedaar is doing.
I mean, Zedaar is... I guess he would be in his room because this is him doing alchemy, but he is just... It's dutiful work, but it also seems a bit like busy work. He's just keeping his hands busy and his mind focused because it helps relieve the pressure and stress that obviously everybody's under.
Mm-hmm. I'll knock on your door.
Yes?
I was wondering if you were busy.
Not terribly so. What is it?
Just was coming by to, I guess, sit with somebody.
Zedaar will just open up the door. There's like a limbix and other things kind of set around the room. Nice like stone sleigh basin that he's got that so things don't. If something were to spill, fire does not engulf and start burning everything.
Cool.
Sure. You come on in. This just keeping my hands busy, making sure we have everything we need.
Yes. It seems everybody is just staying busy at this point. Valmir and Zep are up on deck. I just saw them as I came back.
Last I saw of Darius, he was, well, training himself into a stupor. Everyone is grieving in their own way.
Yes. Yes, we are. Does this change things for you? What you had in mind?
My decision still stands. There is nothing that could have been done to save Ruby, whether I am here or I am not here.
I think that's the hardest thing to accept.
I know it feels like you are losing two people so quickly, but you will get Ruby back. She will come back. And I am not going away forever. I am just following a path that I feel I must follow.
And you should. I would not hold you from that. We believe, both agreed, that Bahamut, well, he's there for us, and need to sometimes have faith. Just
were it anything less important, I would not even entertain the concept. Sometimes our stories are about more than just us. And unfortunately, part of being who I am dictates that I frequently find myself having to put the needs of others before the needs of myself.
That's interesting. What do you suppose is gonna happen when she comes back, if we get her back? I mean, things have changed, right? I guess I'm just having a hard time. It's the first time I've really lost somebody like this, so sorry if I'm not making any sense.
It is a beautiful thing to not know loss. It can change you, make you think things that you would not, make you question things that should be so sound that should not have ever entered your head. The only loss I knew was the person who raised me when I was young. He was already a very old Dragonborn when he took me in. So when he died, it was a natural thing, not a sudden thing. We knew it would happen and one can prepare for it. But it still changes you a little bit, knowing that somebody who is a part of your life is no longer a part of your life, and that the only thing of them that you carry now is the memory. But Ruby will be coming back. I feel it in my gut. The king assured us as such. And I believe that she is stubborn. Even as she is now, she is stubborn.
Yes, I don't believe she would give up too easily. I think she would fight back the very veil of death itself. I don't know if she would actually need help.
Well, she's going to get it one way or the other. But if there is anyone who is holding themselves back from crossing that gate into the plains beyond, it is her. Well, maybe not. Maybe she wants to go up there and give the gods a piece of her mind. But if so, then we should hurry, because they may not let her come back. Or they may send her back, I don't know.
Or we might get there and they won't be there anymore. And we'd have to deal with that now.
I think we're getting a little presumptuous now.
Well, it's good. Something interesting happened last night. Now that we're talking about her stubbornness and whatnot, I'm sure you could smell it on me, but I built sort of a pyre in honor of her, and while I was just sitting there, I ended up hearing something. Almost the wind from the crackle and the flames. I can't really say, but she has a choice to make. And I think that is what's keeping her from us, is this choice.
Then I would say we would not have long to wait, because Ruby is not one to tarry when making a choice.
It has gotten us into trouble sometimes, yes, I agree.
It has gotten us into trouble, but it has also spurred us to action.
Beautiful chaos.
I would say the group would be better off without her, but it'd be a lie. I'd say it'd be better off with her, but that would also be a lie. The group would be different without her, but it will manage. No matter what happens, it will manage. Just as the same it will manage without me.
Yes, but in some ways not so well. We will be lacking. There's only
For good
things that
company.
you can do.
No.
Yes.
You all are in good hands, I think. After all, they still have you. Bahamut will still walk with them.
I will make sure of it. Thank you. I guess I'll leave you to your potion.
Oh, you are welcome to sit and watch if you'd like. Maybe you'll learn a thing or two.
Maybe I should.
Otherwise, you all will be relying on Moses to handle this sort of thing from now on.
Yes, and I believe there might be some cross-contamination if that.
He puts things into the potions that I would not recommend.
Well, not for. Yes, you wouldn't recommend for that moment. Well, I guess I'll hang out for a while and assist
Zedaar
in
won't
any
even-
way possible.
Yeah, Zedaar won't even close the door. He'll just go back to work and kind of talk about what he's doing.
Darius, what are you doing?
Is this, are we still on the night before? Because we went over
So
what I was
it's
doing?
it's the morning now. Like you finished your morning training, on top of everything you already did, throughout the night. But yeah, the day is yours. Is there anything you particularly want to do?
Is this before or after we've already met with the king?
No one's met the king yet today. No one has come to the ship yet today.
No, we did that at the end of last session.
Yeah, this is after we've met with the king to arrange their reward, but he hasn't returned with anything, I believe, is what we're just saying.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. If it was after the first meeting.
Yes. Sorry.
Okay. No, just kind of keeps to himself. Maybe he'll sleep. Like, close his door and just gonna be alone.
Sure. Okay. Then, Beth, I'm gonna borrow you for a moment.
Okay.
So, in front of you is a cloudscape. Bright skies and like endless fluffy pillows. You find yourself standing there with what seems to be like an endless skyscape in front of you. It's silvery in nature, and there is a almost sheen to it. You catch a look at yourself, and you see your thin face, your white hair, and that little flare of red running through it. You feel comfortable where you are. Like you've been here a while, but that's okay. and that the site in front of you is your new home. At least as far as you know. You sit there in the clouds. You hear So have you decided yet? In an omnipresent voice that you understand.
Looking around for the source of the voice, just
You know this voice. You've had conversations with it before. Sometimes you call that voice Mother.
not yet.
You have to pick a name, silly.
Oh, I guess Ruby doesn't fit anymore, does it?
I don't know who she is. And I don't think you do either.
No, to be fair, Mother, I don't even know who you are.
Such a curious one. Such a curious one. Oh, they'll love you down there. But TikTok. Better come up with that name or... Well... I know it's comfy here, but... There's people down there that need you.
Do they, though? And they've got Zedaar and all the others.
I don't know who this Zedaar is, but... I'm certain people down there need you.
Why don't we leave it blank for now?
Blank can work. Blank can definitely work. Well... I hope you brought your winter jacket. Or I hope...
What am I wearing?
Nothing. You are completely naked as far as you know. It's
just looking at it. Really?
a little humor from the beyond.
That's what passes from humors from dead people. Sure.
Oh, I'm not dead. I'm not alive. I am.
Well, will I have any memory of you after I leave?
I will be with you. You're of my blood now.
Okay.
In fact,
She'll stand up.
I might be all you know. And this scene fades. Breton, where are you in this morning? Breton?
I thought we would have longer on that.
all right.
Breton is still in Ruby's room. I imagine he's, in a strange way, he's just kind of made himself comfortable. The organization of the room is probably still ongoing, mostly because he's not set or settled in where anything is being done. And after a bit, he would probably squeeze himself into the narrow holds and hallways of the ship and be looking for any member of the party. Just whoever would be the first person he would find.
Okay.
I imagine he would start with the galley, just assuming that probably somebody would be there, but just whoever he ends up turning into.
Sure. As you leave Ruby's chambers, you hear a like a gust of wind. Strong but swift, brush past your ear, and this cold wind points towards the staircase of the ship to take you to the top deck.
He's basically crawling on his knees to get around here, but
Yeah.
he'll follow it.
You follow the wind and you pass Zep and Valmir with their ice cream in hand, who have just finished making some combat training dummies and, you know, testing them out. Valmir found them to be a little bit weak, so Zep reinforced them. But they pass you.
Sorry, I don't mean to take up too much of a time, but assuming there's no issue with me tagging along and what with the affairs with Ruby and all, I don't suppose there is a more convenient room that would be available for my use. Unfortunately, I find it quite difficult to maneuver around these smaller hallways.
Could always make a cart or something, then you could push yourself around in it. You would not need to be quite so tall.
I don't know if that would help so much. You see, part of it is also I imagine Breton also has to like walk shoulder sideways because he's also a very wide individual because he is very big.
Yeah, it's kind of like a yes, master. It's kind of
Terrible for his posture.
Yeah, it's very Notre Dame of you to move around.
I believe you could probably take one of the guest rooms on the top deck. That you are a guest after all.
If those are available, that would be wonderful. I would very much appreciate it.
I don't believe they're currently occupied.
I don't think so. They used to be the captain's chambers, but we have all taken our berths below, nearer the control room.
If permission has been granted, then I will. Breton will look forlornly back at the hallway that he now has to go back down to get the things out of Ruby's room. I will go about setting myself up like that. Thank you.
Okay, you do
Do
that.
you need a hand moving things around? I am slightly better built for this environment.
You know what? I will not look a gift horse in the mouth. I would thank you greatly if you just to save me the extra trip, even if it is only 30 feet or so.
Of course. Happy to help. It will keep my mind off of other things.
Sure.
Yes.
You do that. You get your things.
I'm gonna go back to whacking wood.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Unironically, unintentional.
For once
Well,
from you? Wow.
That's how you cope with thinking about Ruby.
That's weird.
Okay, I know there's an age rating on this stream, but there was a lot of reds on player and player explicit content. So
We'll move on from there. No, Breton will make his way up top and follow anything that's still maybe there, or just make his way to the room regardless.
You make your way to the room and you put the things that you had on you down to go get more, and Zep, you head down to help unpack. But in the room, give me a quick perception check, Breton.
A 22.
You notice something really peculiar. There's an open... One of the back windows is open, but frosted over.
mentioned Brendan. He's actually still carrying Ruby's journals. He'll like set that on a table over there somewhere secured and out of the way. He'll kind of walk over and just start examining it, kind of looking out of it, opening it back and forth. Does it seem like it's inhibited in any way, or is it frozen shut or solid?
It's just over the pane of glass. It's just ice has formed. And as you're sat there doing that, scattering of snow, a little droplet landing on your nose. It's so peculiar because this snow is, when it melts, it's warm.
Huh.
Valmir, give me a quick perception check.
Okay. I'm still on top deck, by the way.
Correct.
18.
Valmir. Where the control wheel of this ship, when it was a ship, would have been. You see this mist forming, thick. A layer of ice also starting to creep over the top deck from it.
I am going to use thaumaturgy to shout with the increased volume, "Stoat!" And I'm going to misty step next to it with my blade out, thinking it's an attack.
Sure. As you appear in this like, it is like a circle of 30 foot of like dome of mist at this point, and you can't see anything. It's very weird though, the moisture, and as you feel like the ice like creeping over you, like ice like in the purest sub-zero temperatures, like crackling over your face and beard, but as it hits you, it slightly melts and feels warm.
There's just a sound from Breton swinging through the door, sword in each hand. What the hell does stoat mean?
Means we are under attack. We must return to the deck immediately. Come, quickly.
He's not even wearing his armor. He's just wearing like the padded underclothes you would wear underneath the armor for comfort, because he's not wearing his armor right now, and it's just. Yep. All right.
Zeb will lead the way.
You see this cloud as well, but Breton, you see something different. You see this cloud. You do see like an area of like flowing snow and snowflakes. You see a bright light in the center of it. Can't quite make because you're below, but you're quite a tall guy, so you can see sort of the floor. So you just see this emanating bright light.
I'm not sure if this actually is dangerous. He'll sheath one of his weapons, keep one out just as a precaution. He's gonna approach it, and as he gets close to it, not close enough to touch it, but just kind of like within 10 feet or so, he's just gonna take in a deep breath and just open up his mind to the presence of strange things with his divine sense.
Okay. Yeah, there's something very celestial going on right now. Very celestial going on right now. The rest of you can start to appear on deck. That thaumaturgy was loud enough. And the rest of you do just see this almost like an inclement weather storm of thick, washing snow forming around the top area of this of the ship.
Whatever it is, it's divine in nature.
And Valmir, your like clothes are like being gale force wind buffeted by all this snow, but it doesn't hurt or anything. It's just like it's like standing in a wind tunnel for you.
Show yourself, fiend.
I just said it's divine in nature.
Same thing. I don't care.
I would like to take out my detect magic device and use it.
Sure. But in front of you, Brett, you see glowing, giving off a radiance, an egg.
If he reaches out to just kind of like brush the outside of it, it is warm, not cold, despite all the snow?
You're going to touch it.
Yes.
Okay. As you touch it, the shape of the egg changes form. And Beth, would you like to explain what they see?
I was half expecting a how much damage do I take, mage?
You touch the egg and you disintegrate.
Ah, narts.
So this figure that forms out of the egg is stark naked, female. About 6 feet tall. Her hair is long, mid-back, but stark white except for a single trellis bang of red that creeps down. It's tied into a braid. Scar over the left eye or the right eye, excuse me, the same. If it weren't the fact that she looks about 5 to 10 years older and had white hair, you'd say this was Ruby.
And as the egg forms into Ruby, or this being that looks like Ruby, the storm also sucks into the individual and like dissipates, and all of you now who are there see lying naked on the top deck, face down, a very similar and familiar silhouette.
I imagine knee-jerk response for Breton, especially if this just immediately reminds him of Ruby, is the sword is sheathed and he is pulling off the top of his armor, or the top of his like padded clothing, and he's just laying it over because it's massive. It probably covers her like a blanket almost.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like Breton is a big guy that those pads just straight off, cover her modesty.
It's not a cloak; it's actually a blanket on his back.
It's more like a small pop tent. It's a small pop tent that he wears.
Oh, it is another body double. The last time we met was hostile. And Zep's going to pull out or jump on Braun's shoulder with the blunderbuss out.
Sure.
Valmir drops his glaive, drops to his knees. He can't believe what he's seeing.
Just looking around. Calm down. It's divine. What reason would you have to be afraid of the divine?
Am I conscious?
Yes. Slowly, you gain consciousness as your lights attune from that cloud space to the world around you.
I'm free. I don't know if you heard that at all. I'm free.
You're free. Free of what? You were in an egg.
As she slowly gains a little more consciousness, she'll look around. There's a confusion in her eyes. A fear? She shrinks down a little bit, looking very confused about where she is. Who? Who are you? Who am I? Mother?
Saying,
Where am I? Mother, where am I?
You do not hear from your mother.
You're all right. You are among friends. You're in no danger here.
You'll look at Breton. I know you.
I would hope so. I've known you since you were a little girl.
She looks very confused at that thought. Was I ever? What? She just grabs her head. She starts crying into her hands.
Oh boy. Is anyone not up here right now to know this?
Oh, Darius is looking from like the stairway up, and you took the lead on this. You take it.
I imagine Breton is just going to very, very gingerly try and scoop her up. All right, you need somewhere to rest is what you need. And if nobody's going to stop him, he's just going to gingerly kind of scoop her up and basically just take her back to the room that he was just in.
Did the detect magic do anything?
The detect magic goes off, and you got massive waves of basically enchantment magic. And then when all of the clouds and ice dissipates, nothing other than the magic items you guys are wearing.
As he's stepping by, Breton is going to kind of snap his fingers like, bring something to dress her with.
I saw her die. We have seen body doubles take her form before. How can we be certain? How can you be certain?
I'm not. But if you think I'm going to abandon someone in need, what kind of knight do you think I am?
I have a way of checking.
You do. Because you still have some of Ruby's blood.
I have a device that can identify Ruby's blood and its origins. If you give me a little piece of hers, I can check it against this.
Can't it wait until at the very least she has clothes on?
I will not have something I do not trust on my ship. No.
Breton just gives him a long look. If you do not trust her, will you at least take my word for it as a knight?
Can you roll me a persuasion check?
I will take all responsibilities for anything that may happen with her.
Yeah, how much does that work on Zep? Because Darius is a knight.
And Zep is not of
Darius
this
has openly
land.
said he has a plan to kill everybody on this ship if need be.
It's a 20.
Jesus, you're Batman then.
Your word as a knight means little to me. But I know your bond with Ruby does. But I want the evidence as soon as she is able.
Who's Ruby?
Oh, that's certainly going to complicate things. Just fetch us something to close up with, and we will do it after that. And Breton is just going to move into the room and just start laying her on the bed.
You do, sir.
Are there any remnants of the egg left?
No, she became the egg.
Okay.
The other way around. The egg became her. Sorry.
Yeah.
It wasn't a hatching situation.
Yeah, no,
Well, it was one, then it was the other.
Yeah. Like pure gold light just formed into.
I think we
It's
just answered the
individuals form.
question. What came before the chicken or the egg? The egg was there and then it became a chicken. We just answered the question. Just morphed. That's it.
Confirmed. Ruby is actually a fantasy chicken.
Yep.
I don't know. I get Pokemon vibes from this. You just evolved from an egg.
It's like that is actually the
finds a way.
perfect sort of descriptor of what this looked like. It was like a silvery egg, which when touched, when like into the anime version where it just goes like it changes form in bright white light, and then came to the contrast came down.
He
And,
evolved into Ruby.
Soul!
Is there any markings or anything left from this occurrence in that
give me a quick
area?
perception check. Which I know is very, very good for you. So
That'll be a 26.
So the ice has created puddles of warm water in various places over the deck. Directly where she was, very, very, very small, carved into the wood of the deck. You see a small symbol.
Okay.
Barely a centimeter. No, it's probably even smaller than that. About the size of the head of a pin.
Can I get like a scraping of it? Like if I were to take like some charcoal and paper or something like that?
Quite possibly. Because it's so small, it's going to be kind of messy. But give me just a quick dex check. There is also the option of you could take the chunk of wood. But I'm not sure Zep would be very happy with that.
Yeah, I don't want to start with that. That'll be an 11.
It's a bit muddy, but you got some of the shapes of it. But the shape
I'm gonna have
is the shape that you have somewhat seems to be kind of a crescent moon.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go and are there books on board?
Some personal books, etc. There isn't exactly a stocked
That'd be
library.
really- Is
Not
there
a s-
anything in town that I'd be able to kind of compare this?
The monastery
Symbol.
has a library, but yeah, you'd be able to go check in the monastery library.
I'll be thinking about that, but I won't do that just yet.
Valmir, what are you doing?
It's on my knees in disbelief. This is. Ate a whole ass tub of funky ice cream last night in grief, and then she's back. But he has mental state is he couldn't describe it. He's fucked.
Perplexed. Emotionally drained and perplexed. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Honestly, at this point, he's probably going to end up just like crawling to the edge of that deck with his back against something, and then probably end up falling asleep there.
Okay. Zep, are you doing anything in particular?
Following Breton.
Okay. Darius, are you following? What are you doing?
I'm getting Marjorie and whoever the lead guard at the ship is, and setting up a post outside of the room wherever she's being she's being put at. So
Sure. So, into the room.
Did anybody actually listen to what Breton said about getting clothes?
Probably not.
And I'm going to say Zedaar did that, just for simplicity's sake.
Zedaar definitely would have done that.
Yeah.
Ruby has clothes in her room.
Yeah, it's just somebody had to go get them. It's all it was.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were taking her to Ruby's room. You
No,
taking
it's taking him to Breton's room.
Okay.
I don't think Breton could carry Ruby.
Breton could not carry her downstairs.
Yeah. Okay.
I also forgot to mention there is a scar on her chest, about right where she got struck by the disintegrate, and it kind of looks like a bird. Wings out.
So once the clothes get there and start kind of lays them out in the bed, he'll kind of step back, just in the corner of the room, watching carefully. And Breton will say, just, why do you need her blood? Like, what about her blood is going to prove that this is actually her? I know she looks different, but it's...
I do not believe that it is her. We have had attempts before of people impersonating Ruby and then using that to strike against us. Something is using our raw emotional state right now to do the same thing. I will not fall for the same guys twice.
Ruby at this point is just looking at her hand, snaps a finger, and a little bit of fire, but it's blue. It's okay. Whatever you need to do. And she will actually extend a hand out towards Zep.
Zep will take it, not roughly, and then just with a little pinprick.
You do so.
Ow.
Are you going to analyze it here, or are you going back to the lab?
No, I'm doing it here. I've got the device with me. I just used it.
Yep. You start encoding the device to be able to read the blood. Give me an Arcana check.
This is deja vu.
How could this situation possibly be deja vu?
Natural 1, but I will flash a genius it to 15.
I feel like I've done this before.
15. The machine proves inconclusive. It seems to be about a 75% match. Most matches the blood of Ruby, but something about it doesn't. You could tell that this individual is related to Ruby in some way, but there's no definitive ding ding ding, this is her.
You cried out, Breton, that there was something celestial about this manifestation. I'm a man of science, not faith. My readings are inconclusive. It is close, but not correct.
There was something divine about the egg, of that I am certain.
I want to point out as well, just in case it wasn't conveyed, Breton is the only person who saw an egg.
What egg? There was just the cold fog.
There was an egg. The blizzard, the sphere, the cold, it was all coalescing into an egg. That's where the light came from.
There was no light. It radiated with enchantment, of course, through the machine, but there was no light.
Brett is just looking back and forth to the people in the room. Zedaar's also just shaking his head back and forth. I know what I saw. I'm gonna look down at the not Ruby and just kind of the first moment of concern on his face, that first moment of caution. He kind of takes a half step back, realizing he's not wearing his armor. Just right now, he's actually just bare chested.
He looks exhausted, but very calm. the Ruby that you all know before had this fierceness in the eyes, this, stalwart determination. This one looks more mellow, for lack of a better term. Very calm. Also, the eyes are blue, not green.
What of you, Zedaar? What is your take on this?
I saw the same as you did. I have no idea what I am looking at here. This is entirely new territory. It is not the first time we have seen something try to appear as Ruby. But it is certainly a poor effort, as it is like a copy that somebody made, only hearing the description, not actually seeing what they look like.
In some ways, this makes me believe it more. Previous copy tried to get too close, but there are too many differences here. And yet the similarities, and he taps the detection device, are too close to ignore as well. There is definitely some semblance of Ruby, or at least her family here. Maybe a sister.
I don't know who this Ruby is. I don't know any of you, though. She points to Brett again. I feel like I know you. I'm not that person, I don't think. I'm Soul.
Ruby never had a sister. No close family. She was an only child, with the exception of what the king recently told me, and I don't think this is a newborn that just happened to show up here. Something about this is familiar, though. King said she would be back, and when I was looking at her remains, just for the briefest of moments, there was a spark that turned to blue. And what I saw out there reminded me of that spark. I'm not saying anything definitively, but there is a gut feeling here that I'm trusting in. And even as he says that, his hand is kind of wavered down towards the sword that is sheathed to his side. Like, he's clearly holding it cautiously. Like, he may not even trust his own words.
What is your name?
My name is Breton. Breton Montilier.
And she'll look to Zep.
I am Master Skyspan, and this is my ship.
Thank you for letting me be on your ship.
Because you share the blood with Ruby, I will trust you this far, but I do not know you. I do not know what your intentions are. And Breton, if you are willing to speak for her, I will leave her in your care.
If what you say is true and that she carries the blood of a Sunderstar, then technically speaking, her wardship falls to me. I will make sure that she does not cause any problems on your ship.
That is good enough for me. I must think on this. And Zeb will just leave.
Sure.
Outside the door, there's just a line of sailors holding flintlocks at it, just waiting for something to happen.
Calm yourselves for now, but stay alert. I want at least 2 people at this door.
Gourd.
Mhm.
You took off to the temple, yes? To the monastery.
No, I didn't leave yet. I was gonna
Okay.
actually take that sketching and
Give me a quick
maybe-
religion check, just...
yeah, I was gonna see if I could recognize it.
Sure.
It's a 19, 20, 30.
Some elements of it look familiar, though you can't place the nature of the divinity. You do know it, like this symbol comes up a lot in quite a few, like, because sketch is a bit rough. There's a few divine that this could be, both in the pantheons of this continent and in other continents.
I would like to take that rough scraping and go to the room that not Ruby's in.
Okay. The artist formerly known as Ruby, yes.
Yes. And show them the symbol and see if they recognize it. Just kind of walk in quietly if nobody stops me and just hand paper and show it to them. And I'll be watching intently to kind of see the reaction, so...
Who knows more about religion, Breton or Zedaar?
Artist
Zedaar.
formerly known as Ruby. You recognize this symbol? Or parts of it, anyway. It's your mother's symbol.
It's 22 for Zedaar's on religion.
Zedaar, it's very similar to what Gourd got, but it's basically inconclusive. All it's like because there's like a center smudge, and then you can make out like a crescent moon through it, and you kind of it's kind of very hard to tell. But I can give you a list of who it might be, but
I imagine Zedaar would just inconclusive. I'm not certain.
I would show it to Ruby, or not Ruby, and see their reaction. Yeah. To your mother's symbol.
You recognize it as your mother's symbol. That's or part of it, anyway.
Would I see that? Would I see the recognition on her face?
She'd recognize it, yeah.
With your perception,
You know my mother.
This is your mother's symbol. Is that what you're saying?
It looks like it, yeah.
I know it's not perfect. It's a little rough.
It's very small. Do you have a higher resolution?
I'll get with Braun and see if he can make a better one, but for now,
Zoom and
I
enhance.
think you can give me a sketch of what your mother's symbol is.
What's a sketch?
I'll hand her the piece of charcoal and take this, and I want you to try and draw lines with it that mimic what you see as your mother's symbol, so that I can see what you see in your head.
Okay, not
Okay.
not Ruby. Give me a dexterity check.
New dice, who does? That would be a 21.
21. Okay, I'm gonna bring this up on stream so people can see it, but I also will share it with you.
He opens Microsoft Paint and starts drawing it himself.
That is my fear as a DM, that I have to draw something to show players.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's why I prefer it so much.
Like, here's one I made earlier. Is it on stream? And let me share it with you guys right here.
Oh yeah, that
In
wasn't done in Microsoft Paint.
handouts. Your boy's proficient in Photoshop. He got this. You see this? A black and white version of, but kind of this.
You are very talented. That is a gorgeous symbol. Do I recognize it now?
You may make another religion check. And if you are from this continent, anyone in the room can make this. If you are from this continent, to be at advantage.
Did Ruby do it? Or not Ruby do it?
Not Ruby,
I'm
you just
used
know
to
it as
saying
mum.
that.
You just know it as your mother's.
It's mum.
Does that include me? Just to
Actually,
clarify.
no, you're not from this continent.
That's what I didn't think. Okay.
I think we really need to
planet.
shorten not Ruby, like put the words together so you can be newbie.
Well, she said her name.
Nope. She did. Soul.
I
Soul.
didn't hear it though. I didn't hear it.
No, Soul.
What was that check that we could make?
Religion.
Religion. Advantage if you're from the region.
I'm on top deck, I don't see any of
from
this.
the continent.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So that would be
so that
Zet
advantage
applies to you.
gets rid of my disadvantage as well from being exhausted.
Yes, you are all. If you're exhausted, you're disadvantaged on these. Remember.
And then look at
Zep already left.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Solid 6.
Solid
Yeah,
Snake.
that was a
Solid.
six. That was a
Solid.
six for me too.
Solid 6 is great franchise. Okay. With a 20, Gourd.
Oh no, that was.
Oh,
the
it's the
six. That was-
disadvantage.
That was the, yeah,
Disadvantage.
yeah.
Yeah,
I was-
sorry,
I didn't
yeah.
roll this. Sorry, yeah. So
Zedaar can technically make one at disadvantage.
Sure.
I'm sorry, friends.
Go on,
Nobody
yeah.
recognizes it.
Breton is proficient in religion. I probably should have rolled him. He's actually from this region and continent.
Yes, so it's roll it naturally because he's not.
24.
Okay. Breton knows. This is a
Fitting that he would know, actually, I think, but sure.
this is a lesser deity in the pantheon of Albay. By the name of Prala. She is the goddess of compassion, love, healing, restoration, both in body and spirits of mortals. She's also the patron deity of motherhood and seeks to restore those things that were lost. She, in this realm's teachings, is the wife of Palor, mother of Lathander. And that's how you know, because Lathander is a patron deity of the Chevaliant.
Breton will relay all of that information. You're saying your mother is Frala?
I just call her mum.
but you know the name.
No.
To be fair, a second ago she didn't know what the word sketch meant, so perhaps that's not the best source of information.
Yes, but that's... You said the name, and that's why I was curious. She responded back with mother.
Do you have any food?
I'll pull out some hardtack.
Sure.
Or something.
Have you
maybe
no
a little bit
referencing
better
base
out
of what
that.
hardtack is?
I'll pull out something that's a little bit more.
So you're pulling out a
tasteful
ration.
than
Ration.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just grab it. I just got it.
So he unwraps a cloth, and there's sort of like a dried substance, brown. Hands it to you.
Food.
I mean, maybe I could have grabbed a little food, foraging berries and stuff like that too while I was out last night.
You'll eat it without complaint.
Wood and whatnot.
Is it
Yeah. I'll just-
Very salty.
I'll give her some water skin.
Sure.
It's not the best, but it's food.
I feel like it could be better. But thank you.
Would you like to try to make it better?
She'll look to Breton.
He doesn't have the answer.
Well, more like permission.
I'm not going to stop you from wandering around. Just don't cause any problems, and I'm sure it'll be fine.
Would you like to go to the kitchen, where this is made better?
You should really get dressed first.
Yes.
See, I imagine she's been like underneath a blanket this whole time.
Gorge is totally like not even registering that that's a necessity here.
I will be, yes, and she'll stand up and start getting dressed.
And Breton just like turns in front of her and just dagger stares at anyone in the room.
The outfit she wears is one of Ruby's old ones, but it's not the normal bomber jacket in the pants. This is a lot more conservative. It's kind of a long, kind of dark blue coat with kind of a golden teal filigree. A kind of a swashbuckler tunic underneath it, and a pair of comfortable brown pants and leather boots.
I think the most amazing thing we've learned today is apparently Ruby owned the color blue.
It was actually her noble attire.
No, it was a leftover like sailor's robe that was just in from the closet. That's what it was. The old captain's uniform.
She will look at the red stuff and just kind of curl her face at it.
Try to. Yeah, I suppose we'll make our way down to the galley. Before they leave the room, Breton is going to he's going to reach over and just make sure he picks up the journal that Ruby used to write in, and he's going to tuck it away for the moment.
Okay.
And also redress himself, because...
Yep, sure thing. You can do that. Valman.
Okay. Yeah.
You're in your room asleep, right? Didn't you?
I'm
or are
on
you
the
in?
top deck asleep.
You're on the top deck asleep, correct. You see... You try to find sleep, but can't really, and your eyes open when the doors below you open again, and you see the individuals. This new entity looks a hell of a lot like Ruby, dressed very differently now. Leave with Breton, Gourd, and Zedaar. Zep left beforehand. Oh, and Darius leaves with them. The crew kind of very confused as well. Do you do anything?
He'll smile and wave at Zedaar. Or not Zedaar, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, him too. But to Valmir.
It's you're below him, so he can see you, but unless you're particularly looking for him, I wouldn't say you could see him.
I guess I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna try and the exhaustion wave kind of hit me after seeing all of that. I'm gonna try and push through it because I need to figure out what all this is. So he's gonna pick himself back up and go and find not Ruby.
You follow the group that is following the artist formerly known as Ruby. Who?
She gave her name.
Yeah, no, but Valmir doesn't know that.
I didn't hear it.
And you all head to the kitchen. Zep. You went off.
Yep.
Braun joined you as well. And he comes over to you. Are you okay?
No.
Do you want to talk about it?
There is someone that I must talk to about this. The only one I can think that may be able to understand this, because I certainly do not. I'm a man of science. I'm a man of... I understand what I can see, what I can feel, what I can create. But this is beyond me. And if Britain is right to say that there are the gods involved, then there's only one god that I would trust to ask about this.
And who is
If
that?
you wish to accompany me, you may. But I need to speak to Bahamut.
Okay. Bron
And Zep
nods.
will go to Zedaar's room and just, if it's locked, he'd let himself in, but he'd open up the shrine.
I imagine the door was left open because it was open before and they left in a hurry.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And you go to the mechanical shrine.
He's spreading the faith. He's accomplishing his goals.
Just in time for him to leave.
No, it's a little more reason. He accomplished what he meant to do here.
He's planted the
Maybe
seed
leaving that
while the
shrine.
tree is growing.
We're clearly going to need it.
And he also he's also got somebody to carry on the word as well.
Yeah. So you have the shrine in front of you. What would you like to do?
I have no idea how any of this works, but I have seen
You know how the shrine
Zedaar.
works. You built it.
I have seen Zedaar kneeling before the shrine many times before. Usually was their eyes open or closed, like when you were communing?
That's an interesting one. I imagine Zedaar would... Yeah, no, in prayer he would close his eyes and then he would look for the response.
Okay. Then Zep would kneel in front of the shrine, his eyes closed, and considering he has a point of exhaustion, more than likely fall asleep, but he will try.
Roll me a religion check at advantage. What do you pray as well? Let me know what you're praying.
I want to understand what this connection to Ruby is. It is clearly a part of Ruby, but not her. I saw Ruby not only killed, but disintegrated. I do not understand how this could be possible. By all of the rules established, that Zep understands this is not possible. And yet, maybe it is. $21.
21. You sit there praying for answers. And your eyes close to what feels like a memory. You are in your laboratory at the Skyspan main headquarters. Not the family estate, back when you were working directly at one of the shipyards. You remember this day? It was a day where one of the ships was due to be launched. A new addition to the Iron Duke's fleet. You remember this day because in a moment, your uncle will burst in the room, slightly intoxicated, and it will make you jump and you knock over the candle in front of you and it burns up the design you're working on. And you're sat there writing when suddenly this candle, as you mentioned, in your memory, the candle, you look to it and a hand picks it up and moves the candle aside and sits across from you. You are looking at a young individual, golden hair, kind of silvery eyes. I understand you're a little confused. Maybe I can help. Explain a few things. Look here. And you look down to where the drawing was. There's now a microscope. He pricks his finger, takes a glass slide and puts it on and slides the slide onto the microscope and then says, "Would you mind doing the same?"
Zep will prick his finger, transfer it to a slide, and put it on the microscope.
Take a look.
You'll look.
You see the two slides next to each other. You see your own blood. Looks as blood looks beneath a microscope. You see the dull red. It's not a powerful enough slide to see the individual cells. Not that advanced yet. Well, you know of some that can, but not in this way. But you see close up the liquid, small little particles. Looks like blood. And then the second slide, you see silver. A silver liquid with flakes of pure light, like between, with the crimson being so minute it's taken to but a fraction of the image that is produced. Now I believe you have another blood to look at. Check your pocket.
He'll check his pocket.
And you pull out the device that you used to check Ruby's blood very recently.
I'll transfer what remains of the blood from there onto a slide as well.
You see, when you look, blood like your own. This small, unique swirl through it. A bluish silver tint. Slightly glowing line of particles and essence to the liquid. It's blood, but it's infused with some sort of power. Give me a quick, I'll allow you to use your artificer lore check on this. So you analysed Ruby's blood before.
Do I have disadvantage because I'm exhausted?
No. Not in this state, you do not.
That's a 23. No, mine's 2, 21.
You remember that there was a brighter element to Ruby's blood before that contained a unique, almost flammable essence, and you also remember that Ruby's mother, her blood reacted slightly different, but that there was some sort of element there. This seems like it's blood that has been adapted by an external power, but not the same one that had a hold over Ruby, or was entwined with Ruby, should I say. And you look up from the microscope, and you're somewhere else. Around you is open sky that looks somewhat familiar to you. You're at the helm of the helm of a skyship. It's not the Skyfire. Your ears then pick up the sounds. Dins of shouting, calling. Roll me a wisdom saving throw, please. Sorry, at advantage. It should be at advantage.
20.
Okay. And as you feel this memory be jolted and begin to turn violent, a small, warm hand rests on your shoulder. Let this one pass, my friend. We have somewhere else to be. And your eyes dip again. And you open to a book that you were scanning through in the library of the monastery. You were going through an old tome to try and find. Well, it was on the table next to a lot of the other notes of that the Archmage was making in order to work out the prismic device, and you see reference to an object. Referred to as Brawler's heart. And then boom. Your vision fades again. And you're back in your workshop at the Skyfire docks, and the same individual is sat across from you. Who you see now.
I am still trying to understand, but I have more of a grasp, perhaps, on what is going on here. In the same way that we can infuse mundane objects with magical power, Ruby's blood is similarly infused with a power of its own. Whether or not it is Ruby, it is close enough.
You are right to assume that your friend Ruby is elsewhere, the form that she was. Something has guided her back to you in a different way. Not just someone can spill water into wine to make it less potent, or much as someone can reinforce metal by dipping it in oils and quench. The chemical makeup is different, but this being, at least in part, is the person you knew.
Strange way this makes sense to me. Just like when a ship is lost at sea, some of the crew can be rescued. The name is remembered, the qualities of the ship is remembered. And then the shipyard, they build a new ship and christen it with the same name. The same crew can serve aboard her. New, improved, but still the same.
And as you think that to yourself, your vision dulls again. Your eyes waking up to the metallic visage of Braun, who is waking you up from on top of the pressure plate outside of the in front of the shrine. Zip, you fell asleep. Zip, wake up, wake up.
I am awake, my friend. Never have I had dreams, visions such as this. I understand now why Zedaar is always so certain in his path. There's a comfort to it. We should go find the others.
He nods.
And I'll relay to Braun what I saw as we go.
He just looks at you, hand on your shoulder as he helps you up onto the seat. Just goes, "Your mind is very powerful, friend." Okay. So, at this point, the rest of you are in the kitchen. What are you doing, friends? You're muted, Beth.
Go ahead, like.
Zedaar is sitting in a corner with a anti-fire spell ready, just in case something starts to catch fire. And Breton is just kind of like pacing around awkwardly behind, like a parent who is watching somebody who they are responsible for do something dangerous, but doesn't have any idea how to help them because he has no proficiency in cooking.
I stood in the doorway watching.
I should remind you, the kitchen is an absolute ruin at this point.
Yeah, there is
up.
tubs of melted ice cream everywhere at this point.
There is, as Ruby looks at Soul, I'm having to get used to that. As Soul looks around, there is a slight smile that comes to her face. Like somebody is looking at something that just... This feels familiar. Although I don't recall ever leaving. She'll look at it, put her finger in one of the melted ice cream. Strawberry daiquiri out?
Give me an intelligence saving throw.
Oh god.
Does she get the bonus of Breton's aura?
Ooh. Now
that would be 19. That would be 24. 22.
Yeah, you do get the Breton's aura.
He is pacing around her very.
Yeah, no, he's being
cautiously.
very close and protective.
Dangerous ice cream.
As you take that taste, your mind wanders to. You get a flash of this young red-headed woman that looks awfully like you, sipping this bright-colored drink, looking at her reflection in a fountain. And then you're back.
Well,
Did something noticeable happen?
Ruby paused and just kind of looked.
Soul.
Oh yeah.
Soul paused. Like that 1,000-yard stare for a second. Who was
Is
she?
everything okay?
That's a different question to different people, I'm afraid.
Well, this
No,
will take me a few minutes to clean up, so she'll start putting on without even really looking. Somehow, I'd imagine she just knows where stuff is supposed to go.
I think she does, but also at the same time, she goes to like elements where there's like, okay, there's a cupboard full of pans, and then she goes, no, this isn't right, and takes them all out and puts them somewhere else.
Reorganizing it.
Yes, yeah, so it's an element of that. And as you explain to Soul who Ruby was, we're going to go ahead and take our break. So join us in 5 to 10 minutes time, where we'll be back. Make sure you hydrate yourselves, refresh, and we'll see you in the second half.
A brightly colored drink.
The world of Valdirus is one of old empires and new nations, of emerging new ideas combating the beliefs of the past. Civilization slowly crawls back from the dark ages so recently ended, but the deep forests and dark corners of even the wealthiest nations remained untouched and filled with corruption. The root cause? A great schism in the hearts of the faithful.
In the name of the 5 wisdoms and that of the divine legate, you have been found guilty of heresy and shall be judged by Orth in the afterlife.
Children of the Church of Glass, raise your tools and arms, your pitchforks and mattocks. Cast aside the plowshares and take up the call to war, as your right to faith and life is at stake.
As an age of enlightenment dawned, an era of closed-mindedness followed. But it was the common folk who truly suffered the most.
The levy, fight for his king.
34 years of bloodshed and hurt. Some cannot even recall a time of peace, and it shows no signs of slowing. In a world shrouded in such darkness, it's a wonder how anyone survives.
Welcome back to the second half of our broadcast. Last time we left off, everyone was in the kitchen and Ruby was reorganized. Sorry! Sol was reorganizing.
We need to have like because I'm gonna do it too. We need to have like a collection box or something, or like a swear jar, but for misnaming Ruby.
Just misnaming anyone at this point.
10 bits every time you get it wrong.
It's easy to remember. Ruby's dead.
Ow.
Ruby isn't here anymore.
Say how you really feel, Darius.
You ain't got no Ruby, but you got Soul.
Okay, so. Breton.
I imagine while she's organizing the kitchen, the first thing she actually does is put on a kettle.
Okay.
Gourd's gonna try and help as much as possible.
Okay.
You're gonna help Ruby clean or help her
Sol.
put on a kettle?
All of it.
Wow, yeah, wow. There's a bit. I mean, it's just water in a kettle, sir.
I'm just trying to help.
Is that your name?
What, help or sir?
She just gives him a really confused look.
Yes, sir. Neither are correct. My name is Gourd.
Gourd. Very earthy.
It's about this time that Zep, you and Braun also enter the kitchen.
As we do, the guards which are still outside, I'll just say, you can stand down. I have come to an understanding. She is safe.
They nod. They go about their standard workday.
Hello, Mr. Skyspan.
My name is Zep.
Which do you prefer?
My friends call me Zep.
But you don't know me.
I do not know you, but I know enough of you to count you as one of my comrades. So my name for you is Zep.
I'm Sol.
It is a pleasure to meet you. Welcome to the Skyfire ship.
Would you
If
like
you have need of a home, it is yours as long as you need it.
Would you like some tea? It will take me a minute. The kitchen is a disaster, but
I am sorry for this. I would love some tea.
I have this. And she'll reach over to the cabinet, right where she keeps her tea leaves. Olisuba, I think. She'll take it down. That's actually, if I recall my pricing, I paid 10 gold per dose of this, but I will give some to everybody who requests it.
Yep.
It will help reduce exhaustion.
Yes.
Helpful. I mean, that's just normal tea, really, though, isn't it? Reducing exhaustion.
Well, you don't have to sleep. It doesn't give you the effect of a long rest, but you don't have the exhaustion.
I'll
Okay.
drink to that.
Yes, you will.
Right. Indeed.
Is Ruby's cookbook in here?
I'd assume so, yes.
It's wherever Ruby left it.
Yeah, she's your friend Ruby. She has notes here about would you all like to eat? I'd like to cook if I can.
Valmaya would respond by like a big lump in the throat when hearing that Ruby had notes on what he likes to eat.
It's something that it's something that Ruby always, she had a passion for it. Something she was always striving to learn how to do.
Her ice cream was a lot better than what I could do.
Well, I don't know what any of these contraptions you have are, but I think what you're missing, Zep. She'll look at him with a little smile. It was just a little bit of hope.
Well, I can provide you with information on how these contraptions work, if you provide the rest.
Would everybody like some ice cream? I can probably make that.
Yes, I would.
And Ruby will... What?
I get to compare it to last night's offering.
And Ruby will get to work making everybody a delicious kind of a sundae.
Soul make Sundays now.
Soul make Sundays. And Ruby, gosh, I'm gonna keep calling her that. That's gonna take a long time to get rid of. But you all gain the effect of her chef's bonus, but it's even better because now my proficiency bonus went up. You get 4 temporary HP.
Well, this shit's actually way better than Ruby could ever do, so you can stay.
That's it, yeah. Everyone's forgotten Ruby. This one's a better cook. There you go. Hey, the way to a man's heart is his stomach, so I like... yeah. But you will eat...
Brett actually looks a little torn, like he's just kind of looking at it. He's not eating out any of it. He's just more focused on what Sol is doing.
He's organizing her kitchen.
Like a newly christened ship. The same, but better.
This girl was very disorganized. She had spices not categorized by alphabet. She had large vegetables and small vegetables separate. I have to fix this. Those of you know, Ruby's kitchen was a flustercluck, for lack of better words, but as Soul puts things away, they're organized, they're labeled, they're stacked height accordingly. It's a little more orderly than Ruby ever kept her life.
So paradoxically, Ruby's kitchen had more soul than Soul's kitchen.
And now we burn the ship down because we can't live on that. Anyways.
But you will eat, and those of you who wish to, may start explaining who Ruby was to you. To Soul. Either in a manner to bring her up to speed, or in a manner of reminiscing about a friend. Would anyone like to give a few words?
Sure. Breton would start. And he would say, well, I knew Ruby a very long time. I must have been not even 8 years old when I moved to Gimri-Amavel. I was to start my squireship, and in the duties of my squireship, I met her. The knight that I was serving under. He was supposed to be Ruby's knight retainer, but he cared very little for the duties and the responsibilities of her fort. I sort of was shackled with it, but I grew up with her. She was a very close friend, and she meant a great deal to me. It was my job to keep her safe. Something that I failed at doing.
Seemed like a very sweet person.
To some. She actually... And at that point, Breton realizes that he is not wearing the pin because he's not wearing the cloak. I need to get something. And then Breton just kind of stands up and just... It's gone out of the room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably. Damn it! Sorry. Crouches low and just kind of hunches out of the room.
What is this, a ship for gnomes?
Yes.
Actually, yes.
Yes, it is. much to the chagrin of everyone else in this party sometimes. It's fine.
I mean, there was some height added to some of the decks, but yeah, it's a little tight. The Minotaur also struggles.
Oh Lord, I forgot about him.
Yes. As we frequently do, there's just a Minotaur on this ship as well.
Man sleeps on the deck, let's be honest, like, clearly has to.
Soul will
Oh,
hand her
you're
tea
talking
to.
about Gustav, aren't you? Yes, I've spent many times with him.
Soul will then hand the tea to Zep. It says here you liked mint flavor.
Yeah, when I was not drinking cafe, mint was definitely my preferred beverage.
I added a little bit of honey. I hope that's okay.
I'm sure it will be fine.
Did you know her?
I did. I'm struggling to put into words precisely what it meant, what she meant.
It's odd. I don't know any of you. Or at least not in the sense that I have any memories, but I have feelings, you know, and every time I look at all of you, I get the feeling of safety and trust. Except one of you, whoever he is. That's just one, I guess, hesitant around always. Where's the greasy one?
We should probably find Darius.
Darius is there. Darius is there.
Oh, Darius, I thought Darius was in his room.
No, he's been there the entire time.
No, I haven't.
Haven't you?
I left a while
Darius
ago.
went back to his room to go to sleep.
Yeah. That's...
Where was I? Okay, sorry.
I think you were on break.
Oh, was I not in the room? Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
You were not in the room, just like Darius.
Okay, so yes,
He
Darius.
left with the DM.
It seems a good sign then that she remembers Darius, even if she is not immediately seeing him.
I also have another feeling. Like I was sent here for a reason, like there was something I was supposed to do. Like there was
certainly
something... I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Like there was just something Ruby was supposed to do. I don't know what decision led to her with all of you to be where you were, for her to die, or how I am what I am. But I think I owe it to myself to find out what that reason is. And if you'd allow it, I would like to come with all of you. I don't know what she contributed to the party. I seem to be able to cook, and she'll flicker her hands. I apparently can do something with magic. Is anybody still hurt, by the way?
Yeah, I am.
Yes.
Yeah. Everyone looks a little bit worse for wear.
Most of the party.
Gourd's very much still beat to shit.
Okay. She will look at all of you, and her eyes close as she says, I feel the warmth of fire, but also a blessing of hope. And I feel like I can reach out with it. And even with her eyes closed, she will she's got, I guess, 10, 15 feet away from Gourd. And her hand just seems to glow with a little bit of blue fire. And in that moment, it will ripple out from her hand and touch at him and swirl up around his body as she will cast Cure Wounds upon him. I can't target Gourd specifically, so I'll just roll
if you open the combat tracker, you can.
Oh, I can?
Yeah.
Gourd. Do I just click on him?
There you control click.
Active PC is not listed in a combat tracker.
Oh, yes, because you're not in there. Hold on. 2 moments, I will fix that. You need...
What about the combat tractor?
Combat tractor, yes. Let's get Soul
That comes
in there.
next after. That's an idea for Zep.
Yeah, that's definitely a Zep thing.
Noted.
So it pulls the combat wagon.
You should be able to now, because you are in the combat tracker.
Okay. I click on Gourd. And I will try to heal. It's...
Great
Standard
start.
Ruby roll. Standard Ruby rolls are back, guys.
You can empower that, can't you?
I can. She will. She will empower it.
If it's another 1, it truly is Ruby.
I'll just re-roll. Yeah.
10.
So the wound, it's like the fire should burn, but instead of hurting, it's like being wrapped up in a warm blanket right out of the dryer on a cold day. It's comforting.
I mean, I feel like Gourd would absolutely start purring at the sensation out of just sheer joy.
It's weird. It's like a warm tingle down your spine, and as you look at your mauled chest from the various sword swipes you took, the wounds begin to close over and knit together again. Like a warm cup of cocoa on a cold day. Your body just feels relaxed. And as Soul displays her powers, Darius, roll me a d20, please.
All right.
Oh boy, okay. Darius.
Yes, what happens when I try and go to bed?
You don't.
No, that's not good.
Uh-oh.
Red light.
Don't.
It's not beware of the smiling DM, it's beware of the red light DM. Okay. Darius.
It's my
You take off your-
mimic.
You take off your armor, you settle down to sleep. Oh no, you don't take off your armor when you sleep. You settle down to
It's
sleep.
been on this whole time.
And sleep does find you. But you are met in your slumber by images. A dream. In front of you is a burning environment. It looks to be a marshland of deep, almost black foliage, various fires around, smoke billowing, the sky blackened with smoke and clouds, the of thunder. All around you, you see your right, your left, troops, conscripts perhaps. They don't look well armed or armored. Hodgepodge of weaponry between spears and shields to axes to, in some cases, pitchforks. You stand in the middle of them, you look down, you are in some sort of plate armor. And in your hand is a sword. Unlike you've seen. You look up and through the smoke, give me a perception check.
Am I affected by exhaustion in my dreams?
No, you are not.
Okay, that's good. 22.
Peering through the smoke, you see a raid 1,000 feet in front of you. It's quite a distance, but you've been fixated on them a while. Lines upon lines of foe, another army. All in this brilliant silvered mail and armor, banners flittering in the wind, embers cover your vision as more fire kicks up with a gust of wind. You take a deep breath and you begin to advance and trudge through the mud and the grime. Is there anything you'd like to do?
Do I see banners?
Of yours or theirs?
Well, context providing by the banners. Where am I?
Okay, give me a history check.
Okay. Because even though I know, as a person in modern day, I should be able to do this because you still have symbol recognition when you're dreaming. You can't read when you're dreaming.
Correct.
Words don't actually turn up.
If this is a dream.
It's all jumbled. If it's a dream, that's true. It could be a vision.
23. Okay.
Yes.
You look to your right and your left, you see various banners. They look very unrefined, though. The weave is old technique. But some of the symbology seems to be of old factions and nations that belong to the king that never was. And ahead of you, the unmistakable symbol of the Eladrin Empire. On a crest.
Okay.
Fluttering.
Alright. Continue going forward. I'm assuming I'm with a front going forward, so
you push
can't
on.
Go back now.
Give me a quick athletics check.
Sure.
As you trudge through this ghastly environment.
16.
Okay. You power through. You notice that some of the more less martial individuals that form the battle line with you trip and fall and get stuck in the mud. And it becomes even harder when the arrows begin to hail and rain down on you. Individuals fall, the mud turning to their tomb. But you press on. You continue forward, marching ever quicker, slowly becoming a charge. What are you doing?
All right. Are people looking at me like I'm a person of... Am I supposed to be telling people what to do, or is it a...
Context clues of what you're wearing is people do keep looking to you, but no one is like saying anything to you, and you seem to be probably out of the people around you, one of the more heavily armed.
Okay, then immediately, knowing the natural tendency of conscripts, I'm going to try and inspire them through my own, by going before them in the charge. So can I make a... Let me just double check the thing, because I have this is actually what this is meant for.
Yes, it is.
Can I make a... Can I make a persuasion check?
You may.
By giving an example. Okay, cool. I used all my superiority dice in the fight. This is a dream/vision.
You have them.
What? I have them. Cool. I'm just gonna go ahead and give those back. So I'm just gonna use one right there. And persuasion check. Plus a d8. 27.
Okay.
Doing that thing very much like Pickett's charge. I've got my hat on the end of a sword, and I'm trying to get them going forward.
You do, and with your cries of valor, those around you begin to nod and their charges pick up. Their ability to traverse this environment is emboldened by this visage you're giving off, and you begin to charge, the arrow still raining down. You close your eyes briefly. It's but a blink. Suddenly, you're in the mix of a melee. You dispatch a number of individuals around you with your sword until you lock eyes with an individual directly across from you. A woman in all black armor, full plate. Something seems off about her. Give me a quick wisdom check.
Wisdom check, saving
Yes,
throw?
just check.
Okay, they're the same. So
This is your interpretation of what's going on.
10.
It's enough. They seem to be holding something that doesn't fit this dream or this memory, like it's been imposed there in some way. Not an illusion, but a corruption. Whatever they're holding, they turn to you. And they begin to charge with it in hand. What is your AC?
My AC? 20.
Yeah. Okay.
It can be more if I'm moving, because I can add a d8 to that.
Sure. Two hits come in from this shadowy, corrupted object. They miss you. Do you make a retaliation in any way?
Yeah, sure, I'll do that. So I'll, dodge, go in for an attack. I'm just gonna double check what I got here. This seems important, so I don't want to screw it up. This seems like a vision, or somebody's messing with time, and I gotta kill Doc Brown before he changes the past. Do I have that? I've changed around this so much. Precision. Yeah. So yeah, whoever I am is going to go back with this long sword. I think you said I had. And Darius, intellectually knowing that a long sword will do not a lot against full plate, goes ahead and flips the sword around and starts going at it with the pommel like a warhammer.
You're mortowing.
Yeah.
So you're holding the blade and striking. Go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, going for the head. And I'm going, that's the fluffy way of saying I'm using a precision attack, whatever.
Go for it, yeah. Absolutely. Let it rip.
I don't have a regular longsword in my stat. Oh, no, I do. Okay.
Your sunblade will suffice, but yeah.
Awesome. First attack. Superiority die. D8 on top of that. Okay. Waiting for that. There we go. So 19.
The individual parries it with their gauntlet.
I got 2 attacks.
Okay. Make another. But as you do, also give me a history check.
All right. All right. Very much one of my dreams. Supremely intellectual about what's going on, but unable to change anything. So I'm just like running in place. So 14 on the attack, 22 on the history check.
Okay. The attack missed, but your whoever you are grabs at the individual and pulls, and they take off a bit of the cloak that is like over the shoulder. It's like an over shoulder of the armor, like one of those half cloaks that you wear like over one side. Rips it, and in front of you, in front of you is a symbol. Set in it is a black gem, And then you look back towards the individual, and this deep black object penetrates you. And then your person, in almost a last breath, pulls a dagger from between some of their plates and stabs it in the visor.
Yeah.
And you wake up, burst awake in your room.
So, GM, how different is that from, let's say, my normal bad dreams?
Your normal bad dreams, you normally remember. Like from your own experience, you feel like you just experienced something else.
Cool. What time is it?
We'll get back to that. I need to find out what everyone else has been doing in the
Awesome.
So, to the storytellers union that has formed in the kitchen, are you all looking to just catch a moment with Sol, or would you like to progress through the day?
Sol will follow the group, but she was asking them, can I join you? I don't have her power, her fierceness. I don't even know if I'm her at all, but I think I can help you. If you'll allow it.
Takes some getting used to.
You are already helping in ways you would not understand.
Ron looks up from his ice cream and goes, "This tastes better. I believe we should keep her." With a little smile as much as his metallic frame can muster.
There is genuine confusion about how he's eating. Okay. How are you?
Internal combustion digestion.
Anyway. Yeah. Whatever I can do to help. I don't know what's next for all of you, but I'd like to be there for it.
Well, we were on the way to go and resurrect you, Ruby,
We have other plans now.
Our priorities have changed.
Oh, we should really tell the king. And Zedaar is going to send a quick sending to the king and just say, so, Ruby or not Ruby remanifested, but does not remember who she is. Could we talk about that, please?
invite him to the ship. I don't think we want to. He can come here.
Okay. So
you're welcome aboard. If I can add that in there.
Hey. So that was a message to the king.
That was a sending towards the king. Yes.
Thank you, Master Zedaar. I have some things to attend to. I cannot. I'll be there this evening. I'm still making arrangements.
That's it. Did he realize that the arrangements he's making, he doesn't necessarily need to make, because we just said she brought herself back, or just where he stops. Okay, Zedaar will say he will be here this afternoon.
Ooh.
The king, Avate.
Would he like lunch?
I didn't ask him. I apologize.
No.
Generally, in the evenings, we would have dinner.
Okay. I will, I'll see what I can do. Wonder what he likes to eat.
Can I assist?
Sure, I guess. Do you
Yeah,
know how to... Oh, sorry.
I should also show you how some of this stuff works.
Yes, she has this... It's labeled food processor?
Yeah, she requested that one specially. Yeah, I'll show you how it works.
So, this is the perfect time for those who wish to go and try and catch up on sleep. You may. If you're not, however, let me know. What are you doing? We'll start with Zedaar / Breton.
Won't have to do that forever, I promise. I think Zedaar is just hanging out in the galley because he feels it's just his nature to be around people who seem vulnerable, to maintain some form of protection over them. Brett would have eventually came back and shown the pendant on his lapel that he uses for a cape tour and just say, this was something that she gave me a long time ago when I was officially knighted and became her official retainer. It was supposed to be a symbol of carrying a piece of her with me. It's a gold heart pendant that has an actual shaped ruby small in the middle of it.
So I'll reach out and touch it.
As you do, half of the gem doesn't change color, but it almost freezes over.
I didn't... No. Wipe it away. I didn't mean to.
It doesn't wipe away. It seems to be inside the crystal.
I'm so sorry. I'll get you a new one.
It's quite all right. Don't. And he's just gonna very gingerly take her hands, gingerly take it from her. You're fine. Do not worry about it.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened.
I don't either. But nothing that is going to cause any lasting harm, I'm sure. As Brenton is saying that, he's just cupping it in his own hands and just staring at it.
Okay. I'm really sorry.
I told you not to worry about it. In fact, he's gonna put it away so it's out of thought and out of mind.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Gourd, do you know how to chop food?
Yes.
Okay. I've got some spring onions that definitely could use some love.
Very well. I'll get to it.
Those of you who wish to start cooking may cook. Others may take some time to mull over the events of this late morning or early afternoon.
I imagine at some point Gourd would probably start falling asleep in the kitchen.
Yeah,
and then get shooed off.
Get out.
Yeah.
The second Zorgor starts falling asleep, Zedaar is just gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna take him to his cat's nest. He's gonna get some good, just a winkish sleep.
Yeah. Okay, you can do that. Valmir, are you doing anything in particular?
I was like, watching Breton help in the kitchen is an ordeal because there's sometimes where it's like an apple needs to be sliced and Breton just kind of grabs it and twists it in half.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll ruin it.
It's going to be diced anyways. What's the problem?
Yeah, but Valmir, are you doing anything?
I'd imagine he'd just be sitting in the kitchen until he can't like put off the exhaustion anymore, and also probably fall asleep on the table.
Sure. I would say Zedaar also guides you back to your room, picking you up, just letting you down. Zep, do you go to sleep at any point?
Yeah, so Zeb probably would eventually settle down by the oven and just
okay.
kind of fall asleep.
Sure. No problem.
Kitchen is a valid bedroom. I'm not.
It's really not.
But those of you who require your sleeps may now get a full long rest. I will provide everybody with a long rest. And it's right towards the end of your long rest that, Darius, you wake up and it's early evening.
For the sake of story, imagine as you're waking up, it's also just Zedaar just kind of... Darius, you in there?
Yes.
The king is going to be here soon to meet with us. Just wanted to let you know.
Right. Wait. All right. Okay. I'll be there.
You begin.
Eventually.
You take a warm towel, like a washcloth, and from the bowl, and just wipe the sweat from your forehead.
That was weird. Do I remember everything like
You do.
perfectly?
Yeah,
it's
you
not
do.
like a dream where it's like, oh, that was the worst thing about. Well, it's gone now.
Yeah, no, you remember it. You do remember it.
Okay. Awesome. I'm just gonna write down a couple of things, like the bullet points of that, and probably sketch out some of the designs that I saw. Best. Actually, no, Darius has cartography, so he should be technically good at drawing, kind of. So he's gonna do that.
Technical drawings are something that Darius can help with, yes. He's not an artiste, but he can shapes and colors and alignment, scale.
Exacting specifications. Yes.
Actually, with cartography, I think you'd have it, especially with older maps, you'd have some experience drawing crests as well, so...
Usually, and also how to draw a tree 1,000 times.
Yeah. Should talk to Zep, you can have, like, stamps made up.
Talk to Ron, he can draw for you.
Ron is an artiste.
Be like Sunny from iRobot, just 2 pencils in one hand. Just...
Oh my gosh.
Okay. All right. Actually, no, that's gonna sound like I'm crazy. I don't know if Zedaar can just hear this through the door or not.
Give me
has other
Zedaar.
people to wake up.
No,
so
Zedaar, give me a perception check. You're very good at it, so...
Sure. I would have argued disadvantage because, like, he's just staying for a second.
Yeah. Go disadvantage as well, then.
I roll 3 and 11, so 12.
You just said, I'm going crazy.
What was that about going crazy?
Nothing. I'm fine.
You don't hear footsteps from the door. Like, there's a brief pause. Okay, I'm going to trust you on that. And then he'll start walking away. He'll go around just knocking up the people who did fall asleep.
Sure.
Not knocking.
Please don't.
One.
that was a bad slip of the tongue. Knocking on the doors of the people who fell asleep earlier.
Gourd, can you just roll me a d20, please, as well?
The exact same trick.
A lot of phrasing this episode.
Yeah, I think it's something in the water.
Live on opposite ends of the earth, most of us.
7.
Perfect. You're awake before Zedaar even wakes you, because on top of the top deck, you're awoken as something stands on your chest and shakes you awake. In front of you is this small, kind of troll-like looking creature. It with like it's in a little tuxedo, and it's got like slicked back hair, and it just is staring at you.
You're the one that they call Gourd.
I might be. Who's asking?
You don't need to know that, but a mutual friend of ours says you can get the good stuff.
Got any milk?
God damn it, McAllen. I'm guessing that you're talking about that milk.
Like gold, yeah. You see,
Yeah,
our
I can
mutual
get some of that.
good, because our mutual friend owes a big debt. And let's just say the cows have come home.
And where is our mutual friend now?
Oh, he's been talked to by little Vinny.
I think I need to have a word with him.
You did that. But you have a fortnight to leave a pail with the good stuff. Right here, where you are now. We'll come collect. And if you don't, well, you don't want to find out. And then he clicks his fingers and like kind of folds in on himself and kind of disapparates.
Upsettingly falls in on himself. Not even like magically.
Damn it.
Can Darius go up? Like be coming up at the end of this? Like
Sure.
not seeing it. I don't want to see
No
it.
one saw this because I rolled.
Yeah. 'Cause actually, I was going to talk to Gourd.
Fine. No, that's
This is going to be a weird morning for him.
evening.
Mentions Zedaar just kind of books in. Oh, good, you're up. The king will be here soon, and he just walks past Darius on the other way.
You didn't knock him up though, no. Just
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was
Darius
a
and
joke, we
Gourd.
got it.
Gourd, you all right? You look. Your hair, all your fur is standing on end.
Oh yeah, that was the fire and stuff. Dirty.
Right. Yeah. No,
Haven't
I
had a
get
good
that.
licking in a few days. And
Everything smell like garlic and tomato paste. What's...
I was in the kitchen.
All right. Yeah. I actually have no idea who to talk to about this, but I don't want to approach Zedaar because, well, I think he would apply this to some sort of religious thing, or maybe, and now that I'm saying that out loud, you also might, but I think you have experience. At least I get the sense you have experience with things that also don't pertain to the religious aspect of things. You ever have visions? Just asking.
Are you talking about personally chosen to have, or ones that were kind of just given?
Like hypothetically, if you would like saw a past event that wasn't actually one of the events that you experienced in your life.
Yes.
Oh,
Maybe. I mean,
you have?
I'm not saying that you're crazy for having one. So What was it?
This is hypothetical. Don't worry about it. So you're saying it's not uncommon? All right, yeah. Oral deception, I guess. It's not gonna be good. Fuck you, 18.
Natural 20.
Yeah, he's lying.
Superiority die is not going to help with that.
They can't do it with superiority. I don't have the one that lets me lie better.
Darius, I know you're not talking about a friend here, and this isn't hypothetical.
I never said I was talking about a friend.
It's
It was
okay.
hypothetical. It's,
What was the vision?
I will give a truncated descriptor of what happened, and then I died. So, but not before I killed the other one, and that's I don't know. Does it mean something? Is it like a thing that means things, or is it more like just or am I going insane?
You're not going insane. You're not going insane at all.
Right. Assuming you have some sort of authority on that.
I mean, maybe.
Okay.
But time. Anyways, is any of it anything that you remember or that was familiar? A story of a battle that you've heard.
I know of a lot of infantry charges in marshes. It's not an uncommon situation. I mean, I've got things. I've drawn out a couple of sigils, some banners. I haven't really dedicated a lot of time to matching those together. I do know one is the Eldrin Empire, which just doesn't seem out of the ordinary. That would be on the opposite end there. But yeah, no, I have no context for this. Just kind of happened. I feel weird about bringing it up because one of our friends just maybe kind of sort of spontaneously relifed. So.
Well, then now is the perfect time. If more weird stuff is going on, then it would make sense that weird stuff is happening.
Do you think it's connected?
I mean,
honestly, our lives are the way they are. I have no idea.
Yes, energy moves in weird ways, my friend. But what we can do is,
have you been experiencing anything weird lately? Like on the ship, anything out of the ordinary that? Sorry, this isn't Darius.
I've had a weird life, my friend.
Seen anything odd?
Daily.
What does that mean? I don't. There's no possible way I know mechanically I can beat you in an insight check.
I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you.
He's still better than
me. Just how about you help me go get a pail of milk, and we can maybe go and then research all of these symbols and stuff, and we can figure out maybe if you were seeing something in the past, something yet to come.
Right. Okay. Why?
Don't worry about the milk. Remember, we already it's an odd game.
thing.
Remember the game that? Remember how I said it was a game?
Right.
There was the saucer. We told your sister. Yeah.
Right. Insight check.
Go for it. Insight versus deception. So, Gourd, give me a deception.
7. It's not a game. It's not a game.
He rolled so bad, you're just gonna come out and say it.
You got me. The cat's out of the bag.
It's.
He's not even here, and you're still making the cat puns. Like, we this is the perfect opportunity to escape from them.
Perfect opportunity.
I have an addiction to milk.
I'm sorry. that's the most lateral. I'm not gonna.
Roll another deception check at advantage.
No. We're going with it. I'm gonna accept it because that's the most lateral move. That's the most lateral move. Because you got me. I'm a drug addict.
I'm a taste of milk. Okay.
I didn't know that was. Sorry. I didn't know that was a thing that could happen. I won't tell anybody.
Thank you. It's been difficult to.
I don't know if I should help you though, because that's feeding into your addiction. So I'm going to keep an eye on it, make sure you don't get any milk, so that you can get over this. We're gonna do this together.
You know I'm very sneaky, and I'll get the milk. It's been happening right under your nose. There's been saucers all over the ship. I really told you not to mess with them.
Yes, I've
you
noticed.
Just let them be.
Why do you only drink like a third of it though, and then let it ferment?
Well, why do you?
Is it a? Never
why
mind.
do you ferment grain and with sugar and make alcohol?
That's not even close to.
He's addicted to the yogurt.
That's how they make Kahlua. No.
Milk booze.
We're just. This is a big rabbit hole. Let's not go.
Is cheese just alcoholic milk?
You help me.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Somebody. All right. I'll keep an eye out. I'll try and keep you honest.
I mean, would you believe me if I said it was fairies?
No, because if you know how I feel about fairies, and I trust you enough to know that you'd tell me immediately so we could get them off this ship with prejudice.
There's one just poking up behind the barrel, then it says it, it's gonna drop back down.
Yeah. Gourd, make a perception check.
Except he's being held hostage, so he pokes up, and the one holding a knife to his throat pokes up too.
Damn it, that was a natural 20. It didn't land in the tray. Hold on.
Drop dice don't count.
Yeah, I know. Sad day. That'd be a 27 though.
Oh, it's just 27.
Yeah, your natural 20 would have been a 33, but even 27. Yeah, literally, as you say, it's like, we need to get them off with extreme prejudice from Darius. You just see, like, crawling through his hair is this, like, really, really, like, pint-sized pixie individual who, like, rubs some of his hair together, pulls it out, and it, like, his hair looks to be gold, and then the pixie just jumps off and disappears. Darius, you just feel this kind of sort of, like, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, precisely.
Yeah. Don't worry. Now that I know it, I'll help you because you're gonna help me.
Yes. And then we could discuss this whole thing afterwards. Maybe helping me stop.
Yeah. Try almond milk, or is it the same thing?
I haven't. I don't know. That's a new thing. Maybe you may have just turned me on to like the next level.
Or I guess in this century this world be oat milk or something.
Almonds are around.
Both exist.
Yeah, I don't know if almond milk would have been around. Oat milk is a lot easier to make than almond milk because you need a lot of almonds to make almond milk.
More of a juice, really.
I mean, all milk substitutes are just juice. I mean, technically, you could say regular milk is just mammal juice.
We crush people.
Oh no! This is
juice
like
is crushed thing.
No, that's not how that works, my man.
Orange juice is crushed orange. Like,
in order to be called milk, it has to come from somewhere specific.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Oh crap! Did we just lose Roach?
I think so. Either way, It's about this time that the king arrives. Once he gets to he leaves his guards outside, and him and his sister though enter the ship.
If no one else, Zedaar will be there to receive him.
Yeah, I kind of assumed, and you show them up to the kitchen. What has Sol been making as food?
It's lunchtime, right?
No, it's evening.
Oh, it's evening time. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought it was lunchtime. He'd be
No,
around.
no. They went to sleep at. Everyone went to sleep at.
Right.
About
Okay. There will be a lineup of one of Ruby's recipes that's called Miner's Pie, which is shepherd's pie.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Very nice.
Along with Ruby's recipe calls green spears and bacon. It's literally like asparagus wrapped up with bacon.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
Very tasty, very healthy.
That's
healthy.
Zedaar, how do you introduce Sol to the king?
So as they kind of reconvene and they step in the galley, Zedaar will say, "Your Majesty, this is Sol."
Who will look up, powder on her face, apron covered in stuff.
There goes Darius. Yeah. And Zedaar will lean in and says, "The individual formerly known as Ruby, or so we believe."
Oh, Ruby will actually do a Sol will do a respectful Fionian bow, some maybe out of instinct, who knows.
The individual the king looks and gives a slight smile and a nod, and then bows back. Well, this is Alistair will want to see this. Is that okay?
She'll shrug. I don't know who that is.
Breton? I don't know if Breton would know about this.
Zedaar's there though. Zedaar definitely does.
Zedaar, yeah, Zedaar was there. Zedaar would be aware. I imagine Zedaar would say, "I don't see the harm in that," because it's just, unless I imagine the party would be gathering, so it should just be the party and them.
So you're okay? Just to confirm, you are okay with this?
Yes. I'm happy to meet Alistair.
He just takes a deep breath and his eyes then glow gold. Hello.
Hello.
Ah. He waves a hand, like, over to your direction. Interesting. You found your way into Brala's embrace. Mother of my
just shrug.
The mother of my master has done you... has served you for a... I sense you are here for a purpose. It is unknown to me what that purpose is, but... a miracle it is indeed. And then... the king returns.
You really suffer from an out-of-body experience.
He giggles. Well, as much as I feel out of body, he is in here. And then taps his chest. Do you remember anything about who you were?
She'll shake her head. No, not really. It's instincts, feelings. But it's more than that. I don't feel like that person. I don't know much about them other than what I've heard, but I don't think I am that person.
This legally puts me in an interesting conundrum. Breton, I turn to you for some advice here. By right now, the state falls to Lady Sunderstar here, but this isn't truly Lady Sunderstar here. I do not know if you've had time to consider my offer or my various offers, but what would you advise the course of action here be?
Well, if the assessment of our gnomish friend, Zep Skyspan, is to be believed, then this individual is as much a Sunderstar as anyone. Their blood has proved it.
If I may step in for a moment here, I have some additional information that might be of use in your decisions. I have indeed confirmed that Sol is closely related to the Sunderstars. At least 75% of her blood is a match, or there is a 75% match to the blood. I have also been, how to say this, in communion with Bahamut, and he has shown me that while Sol's blood is close to Ruby's, the 25% that was missing is an altered power granted by another being. So there is definitely a bloodline similarity between Ruby and Sol that is perhaps even closer than we had initially suspected.
Useful information, Master Skyspan. Your intelligence betwixes me yet again. As I said, I have knights I can trust to take over the wardship of the estate. Should you feel the pull to be at your lady's side yet again, Master Montaigne?
That depends on whether or not she will have me. As, technically speaking, it was in my duty failing that caused this whole fracas in the first place. And imagine at that point, Red just kind of looks over at Sol, and there's a mix of like guilt and, I don't know, concern on his face.
We all failed in that particular task, Master Breton, Sir Breton.
But yours was not a sworn duty to do it.
I'm sorry to have the unpopular opinion, but I believe it was Lord Sunderstar who was to blame for doing the act, and not ours for not preventing it.
And yet the story still falls to her. If she is in no state of mind to make it, then it would be my preference to stay with the... I'm not sure if we can even accurately call her Lady Sunderstar, but that is what my oath is sworn to, and that is what I would prefer to do. If it comes to realize that she is not want me around, then I will make my leave.
Okay, then until such a time, I'll assign someone to protect the family and look after the estate.
I would like to say something.
By all means.
No, I know not who this Ruby is, and to be quite honest, I don't know anybody here, really. But she'll point to Breton. But you, I know. And I know that she loved you. And though I am not that person, something tells me that love transcends reality. And if she trusted you, I trust you, Mr. Breton. But I also know, and she looks at the rest of everybody else, that she would not want you to feel responsible for her death. You sure rely on each other, care for each other. But it was still her choice to go into the fire. And it was her choice to die. In regards to her family estate, I have no say, but if she still has family, my king, I think it should go to them.
Very well. It will go to the secondary heir once that child is of age. Until such a time, I will find the perfect people to uphold and protect it. And not just the knight.
Please tell me it's not the Gerbeline.
No, it is not. It is not the Gerbeline.
That was bad. Sorry. I have no identity. I have no family. I have nothing that binds me to this world except the task that I feel I must accomplish. And though I know not yet what it might be, I cannot willingly cast anybody aside who might aid me in finding it is and finishing it. So, Breton, I would deeply love to have you and the rest of the Skyfire by my side. I am not as powerful as Ruby was, nor am I as dangerous. And I don't even know what I can bring to this table, but I hope it might be just what you need.
Whatever it is that you find that you can bring to this table, we'll accept it.
I feel like you have something to tell me, but we'll get to that later.
It's about this time that anyone who isn't already at dinner may join. So, Darius and Gourd, once you finish your conversation, you may walk down.
Has Gourd been stealing all the milk this whole time? Just out of curiosity, like out of Ruby's pantry?
Well, he hasn't been stealing all of it, but if there's ever been a milk ration served, he's also been speaking to the crew, and some of the crew have been dealing with the milk situation. So
I would actually imagine she probably doesn't keep a lot of milk on board because it
you've got
goes bad.
a goat, don't you?
We have a goat.
That's true. We have a goat.
It's very overworked.
We have
goat.
milk on tap.
that poor goat. The dried out husk.
But yeah. Is there anything you would like to discuss with the king?
It seems that our request of you is no longer necessary.
No. Which, very good thing, and also an interesting thing. So, I can propose a new favor. Since you did not use my last, divine intervention saw its way through. What can I, how can I be of service?
I don't suppose you can restore memories, can you?
No, sadly. The same individual that would have done the resurrecting might be able to, but I'm afraid that is out of my skill set.
Looks up at the sky. Uh-huh.
Well, theoretically,
Sorry, I was just gonna look around the room.
that is something I could try. I did not offer it already because it seems such a jarring thing to experience this and then to remember, but if this is a request...
I actually would rather you not. I was just wondering if anybody could, if the option was available. I'm not that person. I don't want to be overwhelmed with what I'm sure were very passionate experiences.
You have the shared experiences with Ruby, but you're your own vessel now, and you must create your own log.
I will call it the captain's log.
Your Majesty, I do have a request from you for myself. I believe it will be mutually beneficial. When last we spoke, you gave me the fragments of the weapon that the Eladrin have been deploying against us.
Mm-hmm.
I do not have the materials to try to recreate such a thing myself, but if you have insert enchantment material here available, I could certainly use it.
I can have I can have some enchantment material provided to you and made from what we have here. We are still practicing with what the composition of said fragments might be ourselves, so we do not have the answer there. But I can provide you with more crafting material enchantment material should you require, but we are not a realm with artifice such as yourselves. We have to import it a lot, and to provide you with a large amount will take a lot of time.
That is not a large amount I need, just enough to experiment with.
He can provide you with about 5,000 gold worth of crafting material, enchantment material. So,
Not going to say no.
You may add that.
Did you manage to acquire the single-use snapstones that I had requested?
Yes. And he turns to his sister, who unwraps them from a small pack. 3 of them.
I'm just gonna take one of them.
Cool.
I can't add and remove things from the party sheet, so can you add the crafting materials there for enchanting stuff? Thank you.
Actually, I'm just gonna take all of them.
Cool. You may do so.
Zedaar just shakes his head and says,
I do not have any requirement of anything. I have done this for the betterment of the people. I have not done this for restitution. That you were willing to help us with Ruby was enough. And I say that with thanks.
You're nuts.
so no one else could ask for anything?
Sold. I mean, I could use money for some reagents of some of my new spells. but I don't need much.
I don't feel comfortable really asking for anything, but maybe if I can get some old warhorse barding or something that we can then outfit for stone, I would appreciate that.
I have something in my effects that might be more to their scale.
Thank you. And Valmir, do you mind if I get one of those snapstones?
By all means. Good. I'll take one and pass it over.
Thank you.
I hate to impose any request on you, Your Majesty, but you've already given me the option to serve out my station with either Soul or the infant Sunderstar that is yet to be born. But as it is, my recent incarceration has left me at a bit of a lack of the standard wares and equipment that I would expect of a knight of my station to manage. The only request I could make of you is I would, and there's almost a tint of not pleading, but like actual desire in Britton's voice. I would love a suit of armor that actually reflects my station rather than the makeshift garment that I procured while I was away.
How much time do you have before all of you need to leave? My armor is here. I will have them make something if you so request.
I don't even know where we're going next, so...
Aren't we going to finish dropping off Zedaar?
Zedaar wasn't asking you all to do that.
Oh, okay.
Also, fucking walk.
I mean, he's going to be riding Darcy the whole way, so maybe alright.
Well, we were heading that way for a reason originally.
To resurrect
here.
Ruby?
No. That was a different place, right?
That was you were heading to the capital Nardathel to resurrect Ruby.
Yeah.
Yeah, but before that, the original plan.
Oh, the original plan, you head to Atria.
Triumvirate of Atria.
Yeah, do we still need to go there?
Other direction.
Yeah.
So Triumvirate of Atria is the northern center of Solarum, the other continent. You are in Nardathel. The capital of Nardathel is in the center of the kingdoms on the map. And then Legerong's land, where Zedaar is planning on going, is the furthest east on this continent.
Strictly speaking, if those of you who are cartographically minded, I don't know what that word I'm trying to use is, were to look at a map, would it actually be, I think we've established it may not be possible to circle the globe, is it?
No one's been able to do it yet.
Yeah, so that would not be a plan we would think of, so we would have to go okay, fair enough.
But you do know that Othray, capital of Othray, links directly to the capital of Nardathel by skyship, which then continues to Legerong's land. That's like the standard path for sky travel.
I think Zedaar would say,
It would still be nice to visit the capital before setting out, just for, well, it'll be convenient for all of us. And perhaps we can find more information on Soul's condition there and what may be a natural progression of it.
Well, to that, I'd already set up the meeting with the Archknight. Maybe they also, being of great knowledge and power, might have some answers for you if you seek them.
It sounds a plan to me.
I don't know what condition I have other than amnesia. But if you all think it's good, then sure.
She knows the word amnesia, but she doesn't know the word sketch.
Things are slowly coming back.
Your Highness, as well, it feels terribly strange to ask in such a fashion, but we do remain an adventuring company, a band of mercenaries, and we did foil a plot and save your life. I do not think it would be too much to ask for some coin.
Bold move.
Give me a persuasion check.
Sure. Man's making me roll.
Man's making the charisma caster roll, yes.
Yes,
Well,
but
it's
it's me.
Valmir.
But it's me. I'm going to use a point of luck
Mm-hmm.
because I don't think a 14 will do it. I'll take a 17.
Standard Valmir.
How about this? I will personally bankroll your crew until this war is done.
Off to the shops we go.
By that I mean the crew of your ship. Keep it running, keep you working. I have had letters from a close friend of mine who confirms that you saved his daughter. He says he is powerless to help you anymore, officially. So, maybe I can officially help in that way. I'll of course give you a small amount of spending money as well. But I feel bankrolling your ship and its crew for the foreseeable future, plus the provided enchantment materials, is a solid hoard of payment befitting an adventurers of such esteem.
It is graciously accepted.
Indeed it is. We thank you, Your Majesty, for this.
And apologies for the boldness of my request.
At this point, we're friends. You've saved my life twice now. It would be wrong for me to... it's why I am confident that only me and my sister can be here who... In fact... She walks off. I'm going to send her to get some things that I would like to impart on you, and this gold.
If there is anything we can do for you during our travels, you have but to ask.
I do have one small request, which is you are to hand something to the Archknight when you see them.
Can be done.
Well, shall we eat?
By all means.
Please.
You dig in. And
It's greasy goodness.
eventually, King's sister returns and hands to Gourd a small parcel, which inside it, once the king is like halfway down. This was given to me by a knight friend of mine who was part of the Griffin. Now what are they called? As a Griffin rider. So this barding has slots for wings. I feel like it would suit your Drake far better than any horse armor.
That is very generous of you. Thank you. I will put it to good use. Oh, and I don't know, since Darius is connected, did he get a chance to make a request of the king?
No, but you may if you wish, Darius.
I don't have context. I got back like 2 minutes ago.
Ask the king for something.
Do you want the king is because the resurrection of Ruby is not needed? Is there anything you want from the king?
Oh,
He's already agreed to bankroll our ship for the duration of the entire war, plus a small sum for spending money.
so money is not an option. Got it. Cool. Can I get back to you?
Neither is peace.
As long as it's not like over a certain amount, can I just Or
I mean,
I spent the last 20 minutes thinking of trying to get my internet back going.
Yeah, I know.
Breton requested a suit of armor fitting for his station, considering his has kind of got ruined before. And he said if you have some time, sure. So I guess you have a day or two to think about it in game. If that'd be reasonable.
And he's also providing 5,000 gold worth of enchanting stuff.
3 snapstones.
And 3 snapstones. Yes, that was there too.
And some barding. But to put it bluntly, you're all going to get about 1,000 gold in spending money already. Breton isn't, because he's getting armor. Which is, fair. But you may all add that. Yeah. But if you have something, you may ask. He also brings the armorer. Also comes and takes measurements of Breton after dinner, and is like, if you want just a sort of a standard plate, I can have this done in 2 days. If you want something a little bit more, it might take about a week.
Unfortunately, I don't know how much time they're willing to wait, so I don't want to impose upon them any more than that.
Well, get back to me. I can make a start, and as long as you get back to me before the end of next day, we can...
Breton, I would like to go to Ruby's home to speak to her mother, but it's not that far away. We could talk to her.
Would Breton know where that is right now? I don't know if that's something Ruby's father was sharing with them.
Considering Breton was a captive, he has no idea where Ruby's mother is. The king has mentioned.
Ruby doesn't remember.
Actually, no.
Yes.
The king has mentioned where about Ruby's mother, etc. So,
he definitely mentioned that she was fine and that she was a child. I don't know if she mentioned where he was, but the party does know where she is. So it's just a matter of finding that out. So Breton will just say, I'm sure that we can arrange that, assuming that it doesn't seem like we're in any immediate hurry. But there might be some credence in staying here a little longer. I know Master Skyspan is working with some of the researchers trying to understand the Eladrin Empire's weaponry, so staying here for a few days may not be the worst idea. If the crew agrees, though, this is their ship. I'm afraid I have no authority in where it goes or when it gets there.
Nor do I.
So I guess I open this to the further party. What do you guys want to do? Because we can...
What's next?
Yeah, what do you want to do? You can split some time around
who's now the party
Othray.
leader?
Valmir would have found a moment where he can be on his own, and he would be specifically looking for Gourd and Zedaar to make sure that they are nowhere in earshot. And he's going to pull out the snapstone.
Sure.
And he's going to break it, and he is thinking of his brother Lipless. And he says, "Brother, I will not come to find you. I will not hunt you. But if our paths cross again, I will end your life. Goodbye."
I do not intend for us to meet again unless definitely necessary. I won't be getting in your way. It was fun to meet you. I ask you this, though. Do you remember the description of the woman? That's what you get.
I'm wasting another snapstone on him. just the one. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Zep would also like to find a moment for himself in the workshop, and he will pull out his other sending stone, which links to the Iron Duke in Lederungsland.
Sure.
And he will say, traitors in Arte thwarted, stability restored, Nardathel losing naval war. Eladrin has superior magical weapons. They could use support in naval expertise and in charting material.
Skyspan! Ah. Let me find this voice, sorry. Well. Bay of Gold, heavy on heart. 2 shipments of enchantment material lost at sea on way. We are resending via skyship. Should take 2 weeks. Aerial focus to the Northern Sea. Not enough forces to split to Bay of Gold. If you have time, he sends his own message. I have been researching the 10 seals. I am mostly complete with a list now. I am missing a few. Would you like them? The list, that is.
I don't know how the sending stone works, because usually I can only send 1 message a day.
Ah. Well, you can reply to his message with the 25, because that's part of sending.
Different message.
Yes, this is a different one. This is sent by him.
Give me a second. Yes, would like list. Unfortunately, Ruby fell, but seems to have been resurrected in new form.
Okay, need to roll.
Who's Ruby again?
Oh boy. A pause. A new sending. Curious. Foreboding. That matches something. Forget it. I am sending you the list. What are your current coordinates? The end of his next message to you.
Yep. I communed with Bahamut about Ruby's fall. She is now known as Soul. Bahamut referenced Prala's heart in relation. Coordinates as follows, and I'll give whatever cartographical coordinates I can. Maybe better send as sending, not sure how long we stay.
Sending not necessarily. Time minus 30 minutes. I hope open area near you. Prala's heart is on the list.
Okay. After that, I will go. Is the king still here?
I don't know. Did you run off to do these sendings?
Yeah, I would have.
Oh, he's definitely still on board. I think he's trying to get to know Sol, just like.
Okay. Then I will return to the dinner area. Your Majesty, I am in a hurry, but I have just spoken to the Iron Duke. They are sending another shipment of enchantment material to you. Should be here in about 2 weeks. His forces are still concentrated in the North Sea. They are unable to spare additional support here, but I did ask. They are aware.
Thank you.
Now, if you will excuse me, I am expecting something. And I'm going to run out of the ship to find the biggest open space I can.
If they teleport inside of Ruby's kitchen, there will be hell to pay. There will be blood.
Not Ruby's kitchen anymore.
No, it still is. It's still Ruby's kitchen. Sol is just occupying it for now.
So just, Zep, give me a perception check.
Perception. Oh yeah, one of my best skills. That's a 9.
No flash of genius? Okay, cool. I was just giving me a moment for it.
It's the new day. Yeah, right, flash of genius.
Okay. At first you don't see it because of where the sun is going down. It's causing a lot of shadow, but eventually you see what you thought initially was a star. But the light is getting slowly brighter as it's coming towards you in an arcing fashion.
You just hear from on top of the ship, Zap!
They have a mass driver in Lagran's land?
DHL artillery.
Is it aimed at the ship or at Zep?
Give me an insight check.
Insight or intelligence?
Go intelligence. Go intelligence.
Fire at will, Commander.
That is a 24. I will flash a genius that, 29.
Zep, you do a kind of side to side, like running to each side of the ship, and the slight curvature does track you.
I run the hell as far away from the ship as I can.
Okay.
Shouting for Braun to carry me as I go.
Yeah, Braun.
Because he runs like 15 foot faster.
You run past the kitchen because you're trying to get down to the bottom of the ship to get out. And Braun just goes from sort of standing and just listening and to go.
No, hang on. Better. I'm not going down. I'm going up to the deck, pulling out my levitate device as I do, and then jumping on Braun, and then using my levitate device on Braun, using his momentum to propel me off the side.
He runs out the thing, scoops you up, puts you on the shoulder, all the way like clambering his way through the deck of the ship to get to the thing. You essentially frisbee the levitation device out. He dives onto it, and you both like start sailing off the side. And about another 5 minutes pass, and this, as it drills towards you, and you start to get a fixation on the shape. It's like a solid metal tube with a flashing light on it. And it gets to probably about 200 feet away from you when suddenly a parachute juts out of it and it begins to float down and solidly impacts the ground beneath you where you've been levitating.
I will drop down and get it.
You've seen like a World War II paratroopers drop, like the tube drop ones.
Yeah.
It's exactly that. So it just the side comes off and inside is like another case, and you open the case and inside that is a scroll. And you open it and it reads, "Hello, Master Skyspan. This was the perfect opportunity for me to test something I have been working on here at the capital, Lagrange's lab. We are currently using this propulsion system to be able to send objects and other important items to individuals in the field. We were testing. Obviously, there are military implementations to this, but due to my own laws against such weapons of mass destruction, I will not endeavor down that path. However, we feel like this helps with a logistics issue, especially with commandos behind the field. Either way, I am digressing here. As provided, here's the list incomplete from my research. So be ready to take this note.
Yeah.
The seals of Elendor seem to pertain to magical items that fix to various gods donated by those at the Great Summit to the King Who Never Was for him to lock them out. We have those that remain on the plane anyway are one referred to as the Life Stone, which I am sure you are all aware of at this point. Brawler's Heart, the Blade of Equilibrium,
Or as it was called in second edition, the Equalizer.
then I can't quite I couldn't get the translations exactly, but something pertaining to a dark mask, the Scales of Law, how many have I said? Sorry, I'm going through my list.
5.
You've got, yeah.
That's 5.
Oh, okay, so he has one more. And then the most obscure of them all, the Heart of Elendor. Or the Helm of Elendor. The translations differ. It is the problems with archaic, old manuscripts of less scientific individuals.
Okay.
There you go.
One question. So you said gods donated by the gods at the Great Summit of the King That Never Was to lock him out. Who was him?
No, to lock them out. Sorry.
Oh, lock them. Okay.
As we learned, the gods actually contributed to the Divine Gate, so they could not be here. At least that was the theory.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Cool.
And with Zep with this piece of paper and this information in hand, got to end tonight's episode here. So all I've got left to do is say thank you to those who have been joining me tonight. So thank you to Mordred Viking, to DM Opal, to DM Lake, to Kinda Odder, to Lord Lambert, and to Commissar Roach. Fortunately, Gypsy Jam was not with us. And I have been Midgeman. This has been the Component Cast. Join us tomorrow for the next part of our Zweihander game. And join us next week for the next part of this. Have a lovely, wonderful rest of your week. Have a wonderful rest of your week if we don't see you. And keep adventuring, people.
Ziraj wasn't here because it's apparently her birthday. I only found this out during the game. Happy birthday
She
to
probably said. Life's been all over the place, so we were like, did she tell us? But okay, so happy birthday to Ghibli Jam. That's wonderful. Have a lovely day. Yeah, we'll see you guys around. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Bye.